if you thought that masculinity was under attack.
Masculinity, no.
Okay.
No, not genuine, true
Masculinity.
masculinity. No,
Okay.
not at all. What's being stated as toxic masculinity is just the toxicity of the person. It's the person that doesn't have emotional self control, regulation. It's the person that hasn't practiced self improvement, self development, right? Literally self control. Interesting how all of these phrases start with self.
Mm-hmm. Self-reliant.
Right, right. So self control. People will say, "Oh, I don't know what I was thinking." You know what I'm saying? Man, I was out of control. No, you know exactly what you were thinking. You were thinking that, and rather than being rational about it, one just instantly operates off of impulse,
Mm-hmm.
rather than taking that moment to reason with oneself and actually consider all outcomes. Because a person is never out of control. A person always knows what they're thinking. You can always tell what a person is thinking by watching what they do.
Their actions.
Period, point blank.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, with that, is masculinity under attack? No, by no means. Because true, genuine, pure masculinity is received and reverenced and welcomed and loved and appreciated all the way around because it's mindful, right? It's what we teach concerning the M4. It's full of virtue, and that's the jits behind mindful masculinity. It's being rooted in virtue. When you look up the word virtue, one of the definitions is manly excellence, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one thing that I brought to the young men when I was with Handy Blessed Hands out in Merino Valley. It's like, yo, check this out. I mean, if you want to be an excellent man, if you want to be remembered for anything, wouldn't you want to be remembered for your excellence? If you want anybody to say anything about you, like, yo, that dude's excellent, right? Nobody wants to say, oh, man, that dude's full of shit. Nobody really wants that, right? Man, that dude is excellent. Okay, so how do you become an excellent man? Be a man of virtue. But what does that look like? Right? And then we break down the synonyms to virtue, those things that encompass what a virtuous man looks like. Bro, you find compassion, consideration, trustworthiness, truthfulness, loyalty, generosity. Right? You don't find violence and bigotry and racism and greed and slander and mischievousness. You don't find these things. Right? So genuine masculinity, that masculinity that is rooted in virtue, the one that opens the doors, pulls out the chairs, protects the babies. The masculinity that builds the community, that teaches self-control. Like, hold on. My old coach, when I was homeless and I was bouncing around, there was a gentleman that I met. His name was Coach Vernell, and he had a boxing gym called the Blitz, and he would let me come through there, and I could answer the phone for him, and I'd be able to sweep up and things of that magnitude, and he'd let me eat there, and you know what I'm saying. Sometimes I could even crash there. Good dude. And I remember I was like, man, I don't know what I was thinking because I got into an argument. And I was like, man, I don't know what I was thinking. And he was like, no, you know exactly what you was thinking. And I was like, no, man, this person made me. And he was like, no, nobody has control over you but you. And then he broke it down. He was like, yo, there's two types of fires. I always remember this story because I love it. He was like, there's two types of fires. He said, you got that wildfire, right? It destroys, it consumes, it burns down.
It's out of control.
It's out of control, right? It kills and it murders and and then there's that controlled fire. The fire that can warm up the house and you know what I'm saying, you can use it to cook food and you can use it to power certain things, this, that, and the other. It was like right now, he said you gotta get that wildfire under control. Don't be one that destroys. Don't be one that consumes. Be one that comforts. Interesting. Because fire does that. It can be one that consumes or it could be one that comforts. And I was like, yo, you know what? From and on as well. It was just like all of these little nuggets, all of these little seeds throughout my journey of bouncing around, living with other people, seeing so many things. All of that allow for the shaping of the personality before you, right? And being able to develop from all of that. So no, genuine masculinity, real masculinity. Nah, dude, it's